My name is Nailah Blades, and I am the founder of Polkadot Coaching. And Polkadot Coaching works with women in their 20s and 30s and helps them sweep away all their head trash and uncover their true passions so that they could live big, bold, vibrant lives. So I started Polkadot Coaching. The reason I got into coaching in the first place was because I went through a period of time where I just felt completely stuck and I had no idea what I really wanted to do. And it took me a lot of soul searching and figuring out and reading and just a lot of work to kind of dig down deep and figure out what was the best path for me. So once I got on that path to coaching and I got certified as a life and career coach, I really wanted to be able to provide the same sort of resources that I felt I was lacking to other women. So I knew that other women were probably going through the same things that I had gone through, and I wanted to make sure that they had resources and motivation and inspiration, and or even just knowing that they're not going through it alone. So that was the main goal behind Polkadot Coaching, and that's really why I created. Yeah, so I graduated from college and I literally fell into a job with General Mills. And I say I fell into it because I was walking past the career fair one day at school and General Mills had a booth and they had free boxes of cereal. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stop and talk and see what these people are talking about. And one thing led to another. And, a couple months later, I had a job with General Mills, which was great. And it was a great job, great company. I was doing sales and marketing. So, I had a company car, I had a company credit card. It was really great, especially for someone coming right out of college. But I started to feel like I was living this really fantastic life, but it wasn't my life. So people kept telling me how, excited I should be and how lucky I was. And I just didn't really feel that way. I didn't, the job was okay, but it wasn't something that I was totally excited to do. And I just felt like all of the stuff that I brought to the table, I wasn't really able to use in that job. And then conversely, a lot of the skills that I needed to use in that job were the things that I didn't want to do all the time. So I just was starting to feel really unfulfilled and not really knowing exactly why. So that's kind of where my period of soul searching started. And I knew that I was always entrepreneurial. I knew I always wanted to do my own thing. One of the things I was always really interested in was spas and beauty products and just beauty in general. So I originally wanted to start a day spa. And after looking into that and realizing that it would take a lot of overhead and a lot of capital, I decided to instead start a product line. So I launched a natural bath and body product line called Safiya Beauty. So, and that was great. I mean, if you ever, that was like a crash course in entrepreneurship, was really just manufacturing this product and learning about distribution and figuring out all these different channels and figuring out how to get these products into the hands of people that would love it. So that was awesome and incredible. Yeah, so that's kind of my background and how I kind of started moving away from the traditional corporate world and moving a little bit into entrepreneurship. I still run Safiya. I scaled it back a lot because I found out that, making a product is difficult, and I felt like I was getting back into trading dollars per hours, and it was kind of taking the joy out of it a lot. So I scaled it back. So now I do a lot of holiday things. So I'll come out at like around Christmas time and I'll do a lot of holiday selling. And I also do wedding favors, which is great. So I like that I'm able to scale that back and kind of do it to the point where I like it. And then I'm also able to focus on life coaching a lot more, which is where, a huge part of my heart lies. I think one of the things I definitely learned from was just like sharing and just asking for help. So I think when I started my first business, I kind of wanted to do things on my own, and I wanted people to think that I was doing this big thing. So I kind of was trying to like pump myself up a little bit more. And I'm a huge believer in faking it till you make it, but at the same time, it's really important to ask for help when you need it instead of just kind of floundering when someone could have helped you out. So I think that's one of the biggest takeaways that I had, one of the things that I learned from running the other business. I think the other thing was also really learning why you want to run a business and why you want to be in a business and holding true to that. So I created this product line and it was my baby, and then all of a sudden I felt like I didn't really want to do that anymore, and I felt a lot of guilt around that, and people kept telling me like, oh, you should sell more, and we all love the product and all this stuff. So I felt like I should be selling it, but then at the same time it wasn't fulfilling me in the same way that I wanted it to. So I think being really true to yourself and really recognizing like, why did I get in business? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And stick firmly to that. And if at some point that starts to wane and it's not fulfilling you in the same way, it's okay to change or pack it up and do something else. But I think that was a big lesson too, is just kind of remembering to honor yourself and remembering the why behind your business. Oh, so many things. Well, one of the things that I think is awesome, just being a young woman in business, is the community that it comes with. I mean, so just the young female entrepreneur community is great, and I just got off a chat with you guys earlier today, and it was just amazing to see how many women are out there all across the world doing different things, and they're all just young and vibrant and excited to be doing their thing. So I think that's one of the most exciting things, is the community. I love being a young female entrepreneur because I think I feel like I'm able to take risks. I don't really have to think about a lot of other things that might come with age and responsibility. So I'm married, but I don't have children yet. So that takes a lot off of my plate, I think, where I really just have to think about me and my husband and think about what's best for us. But I don't always have to think about providing for another little person. So I think there's a lot of freedom to take like really big risks and do really cool, adventurous things, and not think too much about it. Yes, so I'm a big believer in mentors. Again, going back to the asking for help. So I actually have my own coach. So I have Lori of Simply Leap Coaching, simplyleap.com, and she's fantastic, and she's my biggest cheerleader. And she's always helping me to really play bigger a lot of times when I'm like, I don't know if that's realistic. And she'll be like, well, we don't deal with realistic here. So she's really great at helping me step out of myself and do bigger things. Also, Pam Slim and Charlie Gilkey have been tremendous mentors to me. I did their Liftoff program in the summer of 2011, and it was such an experience. And the people that I met and just their continued mentorship has been phenomenal for me. So those are probably my three big mentors. And then there's other people that I just admire just in the online space that I kind of look towards, or that, I'll chat with. And I have a lot of peer mentors and people here in Los Angeles that I mastermind with and bounce ideas off of. So I think it's really important to build that network of support and build that community around you of people that have your back and are really excited about what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I think advice for a budding entrepreneur is to really, I'm a big proponent of like your why. I think a lot of times we focus in on the what of things. So I'm a big proponent of thinking about why you want to do what you're doing. And once you have that why intact, I think that helps to steer things a lot easier than if you're just kind of like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to open a day spa, which is kind of where I started out. Yeah, so I think that's one of my the most important advice that I would give to a young entrepreneur is to really dig down deep and think about why it is that you're doing what you're doing, and what is it that you want your life to stand for, and what does that look like for you? So does that, entail creating this like huge business, machine, this empire that you're going to sell off to somebody else? Or maybe it's building something that's a little bit smaller and sustainable, but still fulfills you. So I think it's really tapping into yourself and really thinking about what your passions are, what your strengths are, the things that you're awesome at, and just really thinking about that legacy that you want to live for, or that you want to leave for the world. So I'm getting my master's in communication and organizational leadership from Gonzaga university, and yeah, it's up in your neck of the woods. So I majored in communication and sociology as an undergrad, and I loved communication. But the weird thing is I never worked a day in my life in communication. So I totally fell into like sales and business, and then I started my own business. But I think that communication is just so fundamental in our lives. I mean, everything comes back to communication, and I think that just the way we communicate and how that builds our social identity and all of that is just really fascinating to me. So I want to learn more about communication, but then I love that they have that leadership side to it, because I'm really intrigued by the study of leadership and what makes people good leaders, and yeah, what just goes into that. And I'm really fascinated by that, and particularly because I think that we have a really kind of stereotypical view about what it takes to be a leader. And you kind of imagine this person that's like leading the charge, and they might be loud, and they're just kind of getting all their stuff out there. And I think that there's room for other types of leadership, and I would love to explore that more. And I think that a lot of times women fall into these other types of leaders, where they might not be the loudest person in the room, but they're definitely leading the charge, and they're definitely inspiring others to step up to the plate. I am a huge wino, so I love wine, particularly red wine, and my red wine of choice is a Cabernet. Yeah, so I love being outside, so doing anything outside where I get to be out in the sunshine. I'm a runner, and I've recently taken up cycling, so I'm hesitant to call myself a cyclist, but I'm getting there. Also hiking and all that fun stuff. I'm pretty social. I love hanging out with friends, going to dinner, watching movies, drinking wine, all that fun stuff. And then also I'm a photographer, so I always have my my camera in my purse, and I'm always ready to take a picture of something. In terms of the business side of it, I am actually getting ready right now. I'm preparing to have I'm creating a leadership event. So in March, I am creating the Fierce Leadership Summit, and it's going to be this leadership event all about women and leadership, and really tapping into what makes you a leader, and kind of recognizing that leadership starts from within and works itself out. So I've been working on that. I have speakers and a venue and all that fun stuff. So that's coming in March. And I really feel like that's going to continue to grow by leaps and bounds. So in 5 years, I'm seeing kind of like a, big conference, like 2-3 day conference with that going on. And I think that's really going to help me to expand on my vision, and also helping to share my vision with the world, and helping me to tap into and reach other women all over the place. So I really want to be able to reach the women who need me, and reach as many women as I can. So that's kind of where I see Polkadot Coaching going, and also with my Fierce Leadership Summit. I think personally, I would love to have a family. So I'd love to have kids in 5 years, and again be able to create this business that really weaves my personal and professional life together, so that I can be there for my family, but also have this really great thriving business. I think I'll be in LA. I really love LA. I haven't really found anywhere else that I love so much that I would want to move there yet. So who knows? I might change my mind, but for right now, I love living in LA, so I think I would probably stick around. I think a lot of times we think, and I know I've thought this before, like you think that you have to be like super clear on like exactly what you want, and you can only have like one passion, and that's usually not the case. So I've met with lots of people who just are multi-passionate and have all kinds of passions, and they just feel scattered. So I think that it's really important, again, to focus in on your why. What is it that you want to do? What is that legacy you want to leave for the world? I also think it's starting to test some things out and research some things. So there might be a lot of things that are maybe fun as a hobby, but you would not want to create a whole business around it or a whole career. And I think that you can figure that out by testing some things out. So once you, I think it's kind of like a researching and narrowing down process. And once you're able to eliminate some choices and narrowing it down to like some of those key choices that you think would be really cool, then it's starting to think, okay, can I build a business that incorporates all of these things? A lot of times you can build kind of an umbrella business and it kind of incorporates a lot of different things. Or it might be just kind of having to zero in on the thing that really makes you excited, and you can really see yourself, you know, 5-10 years down the line being super excited about and just jumping out of bed to do. I think the other thing that I would say about that is I'm a firm believer that we all have a mission. So I think that we all have a mission in life and that we're all kind of put on earth to do something, and only we can do that one thing. So I think it's like really tapping into your mission and seeing how that lines up with the hundreds of business ideas that you have. So for me, part of my mission is empowering women and girls, and that's always been a part of me, and I really always want to focus on those things. So I think that, you know, coaching or teaching and all of that stuff is a natural fit for me. So I think when you think about what your mission is, that's going to make it a lot easier to find those natural fits.